Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dr. Several. Today, I'm going to be breaking down how the NFL works in a super easy way. If you're just starting to know or starting to get into football, or you totally feel lost when people just start talking about it and your head start rolling whenever they talk about touchdowns and first downs. Also, this video is made for people that are beginners. If you already know, this might not be the video for you, but keep watching. You might find something interesting that you didn't know. So, let's kick it off, guys. The NFL, for the National Football League, is the biggest professional league in the U.S., with 32 teams split into two groups, the AFC and the NFC, aka American Football Conference and National Football Conference. Each team plays 17 games in a regular season. There is 18 weeks. Each team gets a bye week, which is a rest week in the middle of the season usually, or sometimes at the early or late end of the season, just so players get some break from playing all that football. But the best teams make it to the playoffs, which lead to the biggest game of the year called the Super Bowl. The football field is 100 years long with end zones on each side. Teams try to get their ball into the other team's end zone to score a touchdown. Each games have 4 quarters that are 15 minutes each. There is a halftime break in the middle after 2 quarters. There's 4 quarters, which means 2 quarters is 30 minutes each, which there's usually an hour of football, but it lasts longer. But each team has 11 players on the field. There are 3 units. Offense, you already know, tries to score. Defense is to try to stop the other team from scoring or try to score themselves by taking the ball from the offense, aka interceptions, if you've heard of it, where the offense throws it to the defense and the defense tries to run it back to their side of the end zone to get 6 points. Is your head spinning already? I know. Or sometimes if you get an interception, you can take it down and it switches. Or a fumble. If you recover a fumble, then it switches. Fumble, which means it's hard to explain. But let's just say fumbles is where they lose the football when it's in their hands, because sometimes the defender punches it out of their arms and it falls to the ground, and whatever team gets it keeps it. There are special teams, kicks and punts the ball. You already know. The goal is to move the ball down the field in chunks of at least 10 yards. Every time you gain 10 yards, you get a new set of chances called downs. But what are downs? Well, you get 4 downs or chances to go 10 yards. If you do it, you start over again at the first. If you don't, the other team gets the ball. Usually, if it's fourth down, teams will punt the ball away or try the field goal, which they got to be close enough for a hit. AKA, the longest field goal hit was a 66-yarder by Justin Tucker against the Lions whenever he played with the Ravens. Longest kick in NFL history. Usually, if it's fourth down, like I said, they punt it. Why do they punt it? Well, if you go for it and you do not get the first down, it's a huge, huge risk that the other team will start where you were down. So, say if you're a yard away from the first down and you get stopped at the same place that you were, it would be other team's ball on that side of the field. So they would have a shorter distance, or sometimes they would have a longer distance. It just depends. But how do you even score points? Or what is the points worth? Well, a touchdown is 6 points. Then a kicker will usually come out and attempt a extra point, which is to give one more point to the team to make it 7. Sometimes the kicker will miss, rarely, and then it will only have 6 points. Of course, the offense can always go for 2. It's always something. It's you start at the 2-yard line and you try to get into the end zone for 2 points. A field goal is 3 points, which means if it's fourth down, or you got to kick a field goal to win the game or tie the game, then making it between those two posts is 3 points. A safety is 2 points. You're probably wondering, what is a safety? Well, for example, let's say if the offense, because they are trying to push forward, let's say behind them is their end zone, which is, and somehow, some way, they get stuck in their end zone, they get tackled. Well, the other team gets 2 points, indicating that they get the ball back due to the score. So the offense that the defense got the safety on, well, let's just say, okay, let's just put it this way. We got the AFC and the NFC going against each other. Let's say the AFC gets safetied in their end zone, which the NFC gets a safety, which they get 2 points for tackling them in their end zone. Or sometimes if the ball goes out of the end zone or out of bounds, that requires a safety in the end zone. But let's just say the NFC gets it. Well, the AFC would punt it or kick it to the NFC, and the NFC's offense would have a chance to score again. So it'd be pretty interesting. But most points come from touchdowns, which is when you carry the ball into the end zone. Let's talk about key positions. A quarterback throws the ball or he can run it. He's the team leader. A running back runs the ball. They get it, or sometimes they go out and catch it and run. It just depends. A wide receiver runs and catches the ball, and sometimes block if the running back is running it. Linebackers stop runs and cover passes. So sometimes they'll call this thing named zone coverage. If you have a linebacker dead middle in the field, which is like near the quarterback or somewhere like there on the other side, they usually cover. They're like cornerbacks. Cornerbacks has stop passes and tackles. They guard. Linebackers are like guarding, but they play in zone, which is basically they have this little area that they cover on the field to try to stop quarterbacks from throwing that way. An offensive lineman blocks for the quarterback. You might have heard this a lot, but the offensive lineman, if you've ever watched football, is that line at the front. The front in front of the quarterback. Not on the other side, but at the front of the quarterback. The ones that look like they're trying to not let them get to the quarterback. If you're playing Madden or watching a game, these are the main positions you'll hear about. You know, all those positions. But what is it like watching a real game? How to know what's going on? Well, when you watch a game, look for a cycle. The offense gets the ball, then they try to move 10 yards for a first down. If they keep going, they try to score the ball or a field goal. If they fail, the other team gets the ball and tries the same thing. The game switches between offense and defense constantly. But here are 3 fast ways to get better at football knowledge. One is to probably watch some highlights. If you go to YouTube and search NFL highlights or your favorite team, you will find a ton of highlights of team plays that are amazing, and watching helps. Also, playing Madden was a big one for me when I didn't know how to play football. Playing Madden helps teach you positions, plays, and score. It helps you also know players' names that I struggled at. Ask a ton of questions while watching. Whether it's a parent, friend, or coach, learning while watching helps a ton. But that is all the football knowledge I'm going to give you today. Now that you know the basics of how the NFL works, you can follow games, play Madden, or even teach your friends. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and please let me know what team you love in the comments, or if you have any more questions about football. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.